Hey, good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning. Finally back in my normal environment here. And I'm cold. Yeah, definitely cold outside. It's like 17, and we haven't really seen above freezing since last Monday when we got kind of snowed in. Um, Welcome, everybody. Yeah, big week of earnings here, and got all my normal tricks of the trade here. Lots of earnings coming in. United, Logitech, Verizon, 3M, Netflix coming in here. Intuitive Surgical, Texas Instruments, ASML. Got a trade open on that. Tesla right there. ServiceNow, United Rentals, American Airlines, Alaskan Airlines. We'll see what happens there. Southwest, Intel, Visa. Nice big full week of earnings. Now, um, I kind of I parked in the back parking lot, and that was the staircase. So the ice definitely has not melted off. Where's the stairs? Yeah, that's it's kind of a sketch idea to park in the back, I guess. The side, the other stairs from my office, not a lot better. There's a giant sheet of ice down at the bottom, and no handrails down there. The stairs themselves were clean, but I don't know. And then got to the top, and that beautiful icicle right there, massive sucker hanging off the little portico roof thing we got up here, and pretty morning. It's freaking chilly though. Freaking chilly. Anyway, glad to have everybody. It doesn't snow like this here. This is like like I was talking about last week. This is like once in 31 years we've had this much snow. You can see it stacked up right there still. Um, Today should be the first day it's actually above freezing since Sunday of like a week ago. And yeah. Anyway, finally made it back to the office. It was there was definitely ice on the road and all that good stuff. So yeah, global warming. Hey, David, morning, Larry. Don't recognize your name, Larry Wilkins, but welcome to the stream. And Alan, Philip, Arturo, Dex, Cliff, Brian, Michael, Randy. Good morning, everybody. If you want to chat with me like all these fine folks on the stream, hit the button right over here, right down here where the monster can is. Hit the button, be a subscriber on the channel, and welcome. Welcome, Marty. Yeah, it's supposed to be up to 41. It shows it's 17 now right now, I think, on my phone and on the little thing on the computer. So, still got my hat on. I guess I could take my hat off. It's slightly warmer in here. My office actually has gas. My house does not, and those heat pumps that Biden wants everybody to install barely keeping my house at 60 degrees. It tell you to turn down the thermostat, but I didn't turn it down. But we haven't had the house over 60 degrees in a week, so that heat pump definitely not able to cut the mustard. So anyway, I don't know. I digress. Anyway, let me know how your heat system holding up, man. We're all that stuff you want to in the chat. We can talk about it. But hey, we're here for trades, right? Trades. So let's actually pitter patter. Let's talk about some stuff, shall we? So S5FI rolled down Friday, despite the higher high in the market. Not so. Yeah, I don't know. That's definitely gives me a pause right there. That's not the kind of stuff for making continuation in the market right there. The stocks above the 20-day moving average coming back up a little bit, but not so sure. Not so sure. We got right down near the bottom. A bounce would be in order before we break out the bottom, but I mean, we could chop around as we've seen in the past on stocks above the 20-day. Stocks above the 50 does tend to oscillate between the bottom and the top, and the bottom and the top, and the bottom would be next up. So yeah, there you go. Flip back over. We do tend to oscillate between the bottom and the top. I mean, you didn't even need a chart really. Just the bottom of the top, bottom of the top, bottom of the top. I mean, stocks above the 20 days slightly bounce, but I mean, this one's definitely more volatile than the S5FI. So that's why I haven't traditionally used it. I did come across it in TradingView. I didn't know how to pull it up in TradingView till just the other day. I found it in TradingView, so I could pull it up. And there you go. And look at the simplistic S&P 500 chart. Well, looks like we did path number 1, or path number 2, I guess it was. Path number 1 was just blast on up. Path number 2, consolidate and pop. Looks like we have significant resistance right up here, right around 48.60 to 48.90, that zone. Watch out. When we just do a move like that, many times in the market, we end up retracing right back down to the roadmap line. That roadmap line sitting right around 45.60 right now. So right now, I guess the do not cross go cautionary point in the market, I think somewhere around 47, say 47, probably 40. If we get below 47.40, we're probably not going immediately higher before we go deeper. I think that's probably the level, would be my guess. I'm going to put alert right there. It's all a guess. I mean, it's all educated guess based on experience and chart patterns. Some people think technical analysis is full of crap, but tend to get it right more than get it wrong. So anyway, speaking of that, remember, all trading involves a substantial risk of loss. Past performance not necessarily indicative of future results. This presentation intended to be informational, educational, fun, and entertaining. It's not really a recommendation to buy or sell anything at all. All right? Don't buy stuff from gurus. Don't buy stuff from me if you don't trust me. Don't buy stocks. Don't buy options. Don't buy Forex. Don't buy futures. Don't buy cryptos. Don't buy bonds. Don't buy any of those instruments. Don't buy them. Don't sell them. Don't long them. Don't short them. If you desire personal financial advice, that's not what I do here. You need to hire and consult a financial advisor. And I got a couple questions for everybody. How many people are watching? If you're willing to admit, how many people are watching that have not bought anything from me? I'd love to see it in the chat. If you're brand new, never bought anything from me, but you're here to maybe see what this is all about, I'd actually like to say hey and welcome. So if you don't want to tell me, that's cool too. Cool. Most of the names I recognize in the chat that you guys have been with me a long time, or at least relatively long. Some people are new, some new names, but welcome everybody. Hey Bob, glad to see you still hanging on. Merle, and morning. So ES overnight, getting a little pop. We may see resistance at 49.30. We kind of chopped right on the top of the 618 there. I mean the 1272, excuse me, and trying to push up to that 1618 and 49.30. Got the alert. You can see it right there. We had this. It's funny enough, this didn't update to the other Head and Shoulders I had on here. Last week, I kind of drew this pattern on here. You see this guy right here? That high. It's kind of sloppy, but looks like it might be working out. Kind of sloppy right here. And pull that down just a smidge. There we go. Like I said, kind of sloppy. It breached the neckline just a little bit. But that right there would indicate that maybe there's the possibility we pop that all the way up there. 49.75. The potential and possibility right there. If Head and Shoulders are something that you think works out. They're not terribly reliable, but they work out. Yeah. I don't know. It's almost 50-50, I think, for the ones I've found. The one to the downside never completed. And this one, kind of sloppy, so it may not actually play out. We'll see. The one for MARA did work out, and we got right to it and then plummeted. I mean, that was classic. So, and that Head and Shoulders took like a year to set up. So, In Q, we were seeing some popping, but now we're seeing a little dropping overnight. That 40, what is it, 17.4? I think it is 17. No, 17.6. Yeah, 17.6. Yeah, we popped a little bit. Now we're dropping a little bit. May run out of juice here. We could, I guess 17.4 was the 1272. We blasted right on through. 17.680 is the 1618. We may see this retrace. Hold. If it holds there, we could see it pop. A lot of times when we get overexcited, we do see that blast right on through, then come right back and possibly even all the way back down here before it can get the energy to go up to the 1618. So I did have a 5 over here hanging out. We may see that top out right up in the zone. That could be the end. So highly cautious on this move. We could be topping out here. Higher highs on both S&P 500 and ES at the same time. While the S5FI still kind of dropping, doesn't give me the warm and fuzzies that we're going higher. Especially not coming off some kind of lows. So be careful. This Russell here may need that retrace to the 618 level or even the 50. We consolidated right there in the 50 where the 50 is now. You see that consolidation right there? We bounce off of that. Watch out below. I'm not saying we're rolling over. I'm just saying there's a lot of the charts kind of support going lower. Now we could extend higher for a while, but look how choppy and gnarly this thing's been. What about right now says we're going higher? Not a lot. Not a lot for me. It looks like we need to get another retrace back down to that 618, at least the 50 area. 1870, maybe 1815. Watch for that support. Now, oil showing a little strength, but still consolidating in that box. Come on. Let's get out of here. Pitter patter, let's get out of here. And really, it's just consolidating inside the range it's set from late December. Nothing. Sideways. That's why those two arrows are going sideways. Sideways. Just kind of expect sideways until we get out of this. Support down here around 67. Resistance up here around 78. 11-point range. That's a lot of playground for nothing. So we'll see what happens. Gold still looks like we need that push, that reach right down in here. If we can do that, we're set for going higher. It could be just right here, right to the top. Could be down here, which would be the most ideal, which would match this pullback off of into that pullback, right like this. The market tends to do similar moves in an echo type fashion. And you can see they're not exactly the same because this one was fast and this one's taking a sweet time, but it would be about the same size if we came right down to that area right there, right around 1937-ish. And then if we broke higher, probably going way on up. So gotta wait for that one to get fully cooked. That one's not ready yet. Not ready to do anything yet. And I did find out there's, let's see. Gosh, I read something over the weekend. Let's see if I can remember the ticker. So there's GLD, and there is there it is, right there. This one, the expense. So if you're interested in holding GLD long term, GLDM has an expense fee of like 0.09%, whereas GLD has a expense ratio closer to 1%. It's kind of like we've been talking about the Bitcoin ETFs. Yeah, I see expense ratio 0.1. I think it's 0.09, but expense ratio right there. I mean, that's pretty sweet compared to GLD. If we look down in here, 0.4. I mean, that's 25% the expense. It's, hey, if you're going to hold this a while, you're going to pay that 0.4 on this one, but GLDM, get my fingers on the right keys. Oh, that was cool. Whatever just happened. Much lower expense fee. 75% lower. I mean, I don't know about you, but if I don't like to just pay people to hold something for me, if you can get it for 75% less, this may be a better way to play gold. I found out over the weekend. Always be learning. Don't ever stop. Don't ever think you got it. I sit here and research this stuff. So this one, while this still looks like we're going to reach right down to the roadmap line, that could be, I may move my 1 ounce worth of gold options over to this, because the potential payout could be quite lofty off of this. We'll see. Anyway, if you got any questions, let me know in the chat. These talking about the Bitcoin expense ratios got my attention on lots of other things. So started looking at the so for some of these things that we expect to play out in a longer time frame, like Bitcoin. I'm not interested in any of the ETFs right now because there's other ways to hold it that don't have nearly the expenses. So that's and all those new spot ETFs don't have options yet. Till they do, it's not really like, I like to play things that have options so I can have choices. Bitcoin looks like it's continuing the drop, and I got a lot of stuff drawn on here at this point. A lot of stuff. So we've broken out of the channel at this point. Just start removing some of these things. All this back to all these things we said before. Some of those targets having a hard time coming off of there. There he goes. I know you don't want to sit here and watch me do this, but at this point, I do kind of expect us, SPX 4861. Looks like we're gonna come down to this area right here. We did hit the target pretty good on the upside here. Can't get that target to activate. Activate. Wonder Twins, activate. There it goes. So we came up right into, that was almost exactly what I said was going to happen. I thought there was a small possibility we could see like this outsized blast off, but it didn't happen at all. I kind of said we'd probably see this pull back into the halving event, which looks like, I'm not sure I have it up right now. No, oh, there it is. Bitcoin halving. Yeah, we're not down to 8 days. That's not working. And 97 days. That was 88 days. That looks more better. 13,156 blocks. We mine about 900 Bitcoin a day. A block every 10 minutes-ish. The reward for a block is 6.25 Bitcoins. Here, coming up in, once 13,156 more blocks are mined, we are going to cut that reward from 6.25 Bitcoins down to 3.125 Bitcoins for the next 210,000 blocks. So add 210 to this. So we'll be over 1 million. We'll be at like 1,050,000 blocks when we get to the next halving in 2028, roughly. It takes about 4 years of mining a block every 10 minutes to get there. So you may be like, well, what happens when we get to the end of the Bitcoin? Well, due to that decay rate, that cutting in half of the reward, it's going to take like another 150 years to get to that last Bitcoin. That's going to be a while. It's going to be a long while. Now, think about it. 900 Bitcoin hitting the market at $40,000. That's like $36 million worth of Bitcoin every day coming into the market. So the market has to absorb $36 million worth of Bitcoin. And, it's kind of a misnomer slightly because not all the miners, I don't even think half the miners liquidate daily. So that value of Bitcoin comes down to the market, but it's probably really 10% of that value is actually absorbed by the market daily. And the 3.6 million, that's not too difficult for Bitcoin to absorb in a day. And where am I going with this? Well, think about it. Once we get to halving, all of a sudden, that $36 million is, if price doesn't change at all, it's shaved right in half down to $18 million. The reward cut in half in Bitcoin terms. So in dollar value terms, if we just hold the same price. So what does that do to miners? All of a sudden, instantly, the Bitcoin they're mining, like all their machines, all their everything is suddenly worth half as much if price doesn't move. Just to get it back to the same, we have to double price. So we have to go from 40,000 to 80,000 just to put it back where they were making the same amount of money. And what the heck? So when you think about that, it could be a rocky road for some of these miners. Could definitely be a rocky road looking forward. Now, I'm looking for support on Mara right down this zone. I kind of drew this giant arrow, and we tagged the target. Surprise, surprise. I get lucky again. Yeah, sometimes I surprise myself with this stuff. Once I learned this technical analysis, like, hey, I thought we were going to top here. We came up just shy of where I thought we would actually tag. And then I was like, well, we're probably going right back down here. I mean, golly. I mean, sometimes it just amazes myself. And so be careful on Mora. We could find support here and go higher again. We could go a little lower. We're at support. We're at the point where I thought we would. I have $14 puts sold for this Friday. And I'm willing to buy those shares if we go below that. But I also have a 2-cent order to close those puts. If we get some kind of pop, I'm out. I'm outie 500. Getting out of that. So that's kind of my Bitcoin talk for today. Ethereum looking a little weak. And if we start, I'm thinking with this softening up of the bottom of the downtrend, or the bottom of the uptrend of the lows, if we get below that again, might do that finally. And if you zoom out and look at Ethereum on a bigger picture, it has not really been very bullish at all since back here in September 22 when they changed over to proof of stake from proof of work. Definitely not participating nearly the level that Bitcoin has been participating. When we zoom out and look at that bigger picture, Bitcoin getting a little more hyperactive here. Ethereum not really nearly as hyperactive. And we did get a little better than a double off the lows, but Bitcoin's got up to a little better than a triple off the lows. We were down to 15 and we came up to 49. So almost a 300% gain on Bitcoin, but Ethereum only a little better than a double. And I'm kind of afraid we might do that bigger downtrend there. Doesn't look too good in the chart. I don't know. I don't want that to happen. I do have Ethereum that I'm holding right now. I'm debating whether I should liquidate and move on. This is interesting here. We just barely saw the dollar pull back a little bit and saw the market go higher. If the dollar decides to bust on higher, are we going to get more pullback in the market, or was that it? That was the roadmap test. I kind of had this. I can get lucky again. I drew this resistance zone. Resistance is above. When it's below, it's support. Drew this resistance zone oval, and we came up and tagged it right there. Now we're kind of glancing off of it. If we break down probably below this little spot right there, we're probably going to head on down at this point. Probably going to head on down. This right there, I thought we were going back there, but no, we turned around and came right back to the roadmap line. So that was as much as we could get on the downside on that one go without retracing it. So now we've kind of set this move up. Why did I say that? Box right there. Look, it's sitting right on top of the 50. We get below that 618 level right there at 101.88-ish, 101.81-ish, 101.80-ish. Get below that, start setting the odds that we're going down to that 99.85 target, if not extending to 98. And once we get below that prior low, starts tipping the odds down to mid-90s. We kind of expected to go there, or I expected to go there all the way back in the almost a year ago. At this point, back late January last year, I kind of drew that potential to go down. Drew this big oval target zone. Here we are a year later, still kind of potentially going to go down. SMCI, absolutely ripping higher off of NVIDIA being pretty awesome. Got the earnings coming up next Monday. Caution on that. Caution. I mean, that's ludicrous. That's exponential. Hadn't done anything like that back here. If you're in this, protect your freaking profit. I'm serious. That could absolutely be the end. We blasted right up to the 1618, going to the 200% extension today. These get to be really low percentages that we're going on higher. I mean, there's like less than 1% chance we're going up this high on this move without plummeting back out. We see it all over the place. Be careful, all right? This can come right back down. It can do it in a day or two. I mean, it did that pop in a day or two and turning red now. It was one of the bigger movers. It's still, gapped up for the day, so it's still green down here, but the candle's red because it's down from the open. Be careful. LRCX, that one's pushing extensions too. Could it go higher? Sure. It has the potential head and shoulders thing that takes us on up into this 927 area, but at some point, it's going to run out of juice and do a bigger, deeper retrace, just like it did right over here. All right. NOW, same situation, pushing extensions. How high can we go on just a few of these stocks? I mean, some people say way higher, JT. Oh, look at that. ASML recovered. Despite the government saying, hey, we're not going to export these machines. ASML rallying right back. I mean, look, it did the classic, like came up short of breaking out, retraced back to the 618, held. Now we're popping pretty aggressively. The target right up there, 829. I do have my order on. I got in at like 700. Got my order in for 805, I think it is. I'm stepping back off. I mean, that was a pretty good move, right? I mean, sometimes I just get lucky. Hopefully I get the fill. Hopefully that's not just the last of the move, of course. But like I said, that's a good 12, 15%. And that happened when I got in first week of December. If this thing cashes out, I mean, 2 months, make 15%. And just hold shares, not even like have to worry about theta or any of that stuff. I mean, not a bad shake. I mean, was I concerned here? Not really. I was still profitable the whole freaking time. I mean, I bought on the break here and I got back near zero, but I wasn't upside down or anything because the shares, if I had been in options, I'd been down a lot probably right there. But now, not too concerning at the moment. I mean, that's pretty profitable. Up $69 or I think I got in at 703 maybe. I don't know. I have to go look. Maybe it's 704. I think I got in right at the open, right in there, 705 maybe. So, but hey, not a bad shake. Not a bad shake. And still got some upside to go. CRWD. Wow, that one. Be careful if you're in this one. Like, be careful. Could we keep going? Sure. but it's getting exponential. When they do that, everybody knows what an exponential looks like, right? When they start going just straight up, when they go straight up, they usually come right back down. I mean, see it over and over and over. Some of them take longer to come right back down, but some of them come down really fast. Kind of surprise a lot of people. This one just keeps reaching for the sky. Right up to the 1618 on that little pullback. Need another pullback so we can go higher. I'd be careful on that one. Hadn't touched the roadmap line since back here in August. That one could come back hard. I don't care what kind of AI hype we got. Now, there's been a conversation about, there's $8 trillion sitting in money market funds, and all that money is going to dump into the market. That's a flawed thinking after I went through it over the weekend. So typically, historically, we hold about 12% of the stock market's value in money market funds. 12%. You know where we're sitting right now? With that $8 trillion? Anybody got a guess? Let me know in the chat. Anybody got a guess? PANW, reaching those crazy, ludicrous extensions. Golly, man. Be careful. Gosh sakes. You're trading these. Yeah. We're just over 12. We're almost at 13%, but we're just over 12%. So I wouldn't expect the market to soar higher. It's been a narrative, but I would not expect the market to soar higher on money flowing out of money market funds into the stock market. Gosh, that's just garbage right there. Biotech garbage. Don't trade biotech, pharmaceutical, medtech, MDB. And that one could actually pop on up to 470. Yeah, see, this is constructive. This is constructive right here. This kind of pullback. This is what we need on a lot of that stuff. 462, 489, right up to the top of that resistance. That actually looks pretty darn good for MDB to go higher. It does have some resistance, but if we break out above that, we can take off. So yeah. So be careful. Don't get stuck in that narrative that mainstream media has been saying, there's $8 trillion. It's going to flow in the market, and we're going to go explode on higher. Oh, look at that. That took a while. Drop the mic right there. Sometimes I get lucky. Dang. I scare myself with this stuff sometimes. I have to be honest. Like, once I figured out how to do this, there's some real magic in here. That's why you guys are watching, right? I mean, let me know in the chat. Like, you watch me because I get this stuff right occasionally, right? Occasionally. Look at that. How long did I say 255? How long? There were no options, so you had to buy shares if you're going to do it. Even if you bought in here, that was a pretty sweet move. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to say there, but thanks, everybody. All right. MDY, look at that. 207. Next resistance, 230. And May. It doesn't have to. It can just rip on higher, but 230. Next resistance up. Remember, the 1272 is like, that's 70% likely. This level was 70% likely right there. Once we break above here. And once we broke above here, that was 70% likely. This one's only 40% likely. So even it doesn't matter if we pull back now or whatever. That reaching that level right now without touching the roadmap line again is only 40% likely. So be careful. All right. So lower probability event to go on up there. And that's why the market, like same thing, same pattern, every chart, S&P 500, only 40% likely to get that 1618 without dropping back to the roadmap line. But, hey, we'll see. NS, ridiculous. And it looks like it's going to drop right back down. That looks like some kind of hype thing. Wouldn't surprise me if that's like a buyout or something right there. Anyway, ACLS. I mean, that looks like a downtrend. Resistance at the roadmap line right there. For that to go higher, the 618 all the way up here at 166. So this has got to get all the way up here above this like 170 area to go to 223, possibly 252. But if we break on down, there's my target, right around 80. Yeah, that's that one's rough. Rough on that one. DWAC, what did I say about exponential stuff? Look at that. You know what this did last time this did this? Anybody remember? Anybody remember these last rips? It's been a while. We did one back here. We're actually higher than that one. We've done this before. I guess everybody thinks Trump's going to win or potentially going to win. And then, you know, who's going to use the social media if he wins? I mean, Elon's already saved. I mean, yeah, but Elon's already saved the free speech with X. So, I mean, there's no need for this. So, I mean, I wouldn't go use it. So, I'm just being honest, I probably wouldn't go use it no matter what. So, PHVS, pharmaceutical, biotech, medtech, be careful on that one. D-Dog, well, hit the target, 128, 141 next up. Not bad. Didn't even slow down at the 1272. Crazy. Seeing some of these, so it's not very often we see these wild moves where we just blast right on through. Not very often. It's somewhat of a rare event. I would be very cautious that when we start doing rare stuff, the market tends to rip everybody's money all of a sudden. Snow still consolidating. Resistance at 207. Right there. AMAT. Yeah, JT's full of it today. That's for sure. AMAT right there to resistance. We have a higher level head and shoulders resistance right up here at 189. I'm not sure we're going to get there without another one of those pullbacks. And wicked pullbacks, AMAT is known for some wicked pullbacks. All right, look at that right there. If we run the fib on that one, that high to that low, look at that, 1272, right to it. Could we push to the 1618? Sure. Could we push on up to that 272? Sure. All possible. All entirely possible. But it's likely we get another one of those like 4-day, 5-day pullbacks right there. You see that? That wasn't even very long. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You see that, right? What would that move do right off this high? Oh, right back down to the 100. Look at that. So be careful. Book your profits at the extensions. Don't be like, well, this time it's going. Like, it's going all the way. Protect your profit, all right? It's not being wrong that costs you the money. It's staying wrong. So if you're like, I'm gonna count on that. When it breaks down below the 100, you're like, it's coming back. And then all of a sudden, your position went from super profitable to negative, and you're like, well, it sucks to close it now. Book some profit, protect the profit when we get up to those targets. That's why I point them out all the time. WDC, Western Digital, look at that for being super bearish for a long time. This is, when I say super bearish for a long time, I'm not even, like, long time is, we topped out back here in 2015. We're on this path. It's kind of like, I tried to break, nope, lower high. Tried to break, nope, lower high. We're getting right near that Getting right near it. Be careful. It might poke through just a little bit, and then nope. These guys are, I don't know how much everybody knows about hard drives. It's a platter. I actually have some of them on my other. I can bring one in here, but it's a glass platter coated with metal, and we write magnetic data to it with a little crazy looking doodad, and they spin, and they only last so long, and they die. And we've had hard drive corruptions. Now they're being replaced with solid state that is somewhat more reliable. And these guys aren't on top of that industry. Now, the cheapest way to create a lot of storage is still those glass coated discs, or I guess metal coated glass discs spinning away their life. But how long before solid state takes that over? I mean, with the higher reliability, feels like you could see it on the chart. Like, as that's gotten more popular, as that solid state keeps getting cheaper, there comes a time when, if they're not making solid state drives, and arguably Western Digital is not the top solid state drive, so they're going to have to get on top of that technology if they're going to hang in here for the long term. So, we worked at Seagate. Yeah, that was another big one too, and that one not so. We do see. I still buy regular old hard drives, especially to put them in my file server where I need a bunch of storage for not a bunch of money. But how long before the solid state drives are actually price competitive per byte with those traditional hard drives? It's kind of a ticking time bomb on these, and let's see, Seagate Holdings, Seagate Technology. STX, yeah. So they're actually not they didn't top out back in 2015. They're actually climbing a little bit, so they're still in somewhat of a hurt here. We could see an upside on that one. So yeah, these guys have positioned themselves as more of a data center supplier. So they do have a lot of data center contracts, but that's still, be super cautious. They gotta keep into the hard drive game. Gotta keep that stuff. Gotta keep competitive with the solid state drives as that comes online more and more. So Western Digital, in the bigger downtrend though, they kind of shot more for the consumer, whereas Seagate STX shooting more for the data center business. DPST, well, that looks pretty rough. Yeah, I still got hard drives that are that big and only hold about 10 megabytes. They're traditional hard drives, not like floppies. I got some floppies that are half a megabyte that are 5 1/4. Got boxes of those sitting here somewhere. PayPal. I'm kind of in the storage room for our office, so there's a bunch of interesting stuff sitting around in here. PayPal trying to break above all this prior crap, but flip back to a daily. Actually pushing through the roadmap line, but we've got that major resistance from the gap. Zoom this up so we can see what I'm talking about. See this gap right here, right? That's a major resistance. That line drawn off the lows from all the way back here in July 22. That's where that heavy black line comes across. significant resistance getting through this. I don't think they magically solved all their problems either, so be very cautious going long PayPal probably till we're above about 78. I am not chasing this one right now. Not chasing it long, not chasing it short. It's kind of like a hot stove for me right now. I did have a target on down here around 43. I would have liked to see that touch. We came up like 7 points short. That was pretty close compared to when I predicted that or whatever. We're doing this. I think it's when I drew that down there. Back in 22. Missing it by 7 points. That was pretty close, but we may do it. We may push on lower. Be very careful. We get below that last low. Probably doing the extension right down to that 45 area. 45, 43. Net. Cloud flare. Oh, didn't retrace the roadmap line. Come on. Did hold the 100%. Held the breakout. And upside. Next upside. Right there around 94. Sentinel 1. Yeah, I got it in my mind. It's not sprint. 29, 30 on the upside. This is actually set up to go. It's not a daily chart roadmap line. It's not a 4-hour roadmap line. It is a 1-hour roadmap line. So 29 and 30 on the upside there. Like 70% likely for that one. 40% likely for that one. This works on all time frames. That's why it's how do I know it's like 70% and 40%? Well, these happen tons of times on all different time frames. All right. And if you don't even know what I'm talking about, look, we can see these bounces happen on these small time frames. And we get these retraces and breakthroughs and extensions and these little bitty moves. They're all the same. No matter whether you're on the 5-minute, the 15-minute, the 30-minute, the hourly, the 4-hour, the daily, the weekly. It's just how long is it going to take for the pattern to play out? The list is long today. AZN, AstraZeneca. It's in the biopharma medtech arena, and it just looks sideways, doesn't it? Look, hadn't really gone anywhere in a long time. It's like a year. We've just been chopping. Choppy sideways garbage. For those that came in person, you heard me say that a lot. Just avoid that garbage like that. Even if you want to trade AstraZeneca, wait till it's doing something. The roadmap line is flat, slightly down. Just look at the roadmap line for the last 6 months. That's down, all right? Trend is down. Support's there, resistance up here. It's just playing in the box. Like the range was set back here. Just sideways. Anyway, DLR. Digital Realty Trust. 144, upside target. And probably going to retrace to the roadmap line after we hit it. And that was from the bigger pullback back here. And have some... This one right here. 144. Look at that. It all lines up. 144. This one back here. Same. 144. 144 is probably resistance right there. It's funny how those line up in the same place. ADM. Ow. Guess farming is not doing too hot for some reason. Archer Daniels. Midland. That always makes me think of our friends out there, Kimberly. Whenever I see this, Daniels, Midland. Anyway. ADM. That's down past the extension. We could see a bounce here. Could push on lower. It's Same kind of probabilities though. We already did the high probability thing. This to be lower and lower probability. We're just going to spike lower without a significant retrace higher. Race looks like it's still consolidating, potentially down to the roadmap line. If we get below that, potentially on down here. MSTR. Did it finally hit the roadmap line? Did it? God dang, got even closer today. See, I already had my fib line drawn, touching the roadmap line. Could that be it? Could. Still looks like it wants to reach down just a little bit more. Just a little bit more. Watch for that to hold support. We turn up. If we break above that, say 630 area, probably heading on up to like 800, if not 908. Back into that long-term target area I've been holding for MSTR. GILD. Back down to the roadmap line. Look at that. Could hold support here. This is... that's one that didn't work. Well, look how choppy sideways it was before it popped up and came right back to the roadmap line. Didn't do the breakout. Probably going to retest this trend line right here. May retest that trend line before it can get going. KSPI. Oh my gosh. What the fudge is that? It made the scanner today, but whew. Yeah, look at that pop yesterday, or pop Friday, and then drop today. That looks nasty. Baidu continues its grind right down to the target zone. 92. PDD. Still consolidating sideways. I think it's likely to consolidate sideways till we meet up with the roadmap line, or we break down below this and go fill that gap and meet the roadmap line. One or the other. I don't think it's going higher for now. Yeah, ADM makes texturized vegetable protein. That sounds like fancy words for soy that kills Kimberly. Anyway, ELF came up just shy of the 1618. It's kind of like the classic. If it holds here and goes on another run, probably 171 on the upside. I was just, why do I use shares sometimes? Like, I was just all wrong on the time frame here. I thought we were bouncing over here, and it consolidated longer than I thought, and my options expired. And then it does the exact thing to the exact prices I thought we were going to go to. Ugh. Sometimes I get it wrong. Right there. There's a prime example. That one I burn a little bit of money on. Time is the hardest part of this. NTES looks like it's going to reach down to the target zone. Sun. Oh, look at that. Would not surprise me to reach right down in here. EDU. Wouldn't surprise me. First move down, retrace. ALB continues the march lower. 70% likely to go hit 103, 10, whatever, 105 area. Got to be conservative on the target. 105. Got to go above when we're going down. So that's triple bottom though so far. This is showing to be pretty significant support. We're right down where I thought. Like whenever I drew that, probably back in August, came right down where sometimes I get lucky with where I think these are going. 1, 2, 3, proving to be somewhat strong resistance. We get above the roadmap line and we can start looking up again. This is a potential lithium miner that ExxonMobil wants to partner with. But right now, that's a pretty wicked downtrend. B. Riley, these guys buy distressed assets and flip it around to profit. And 14 is the support level right there, target. Would not surprise me to touch that. Well, 15, I should say. CWB continuing to blast on down. Next level down, 19. BABA continuing to flush out Warren Buffett's investment. I mean, we're like 70% likely to reach down here to 40. Warren Buffett bails, that thing will just like... So, not sold on that one. China having a lot of trouble. I guess when you lie about your growth for years, it's the same thing that happened in Russia back in the 80s, 90s during the Cold War. They lied about their output, lied about their production, lied about it to the point where they believed their own numbers, and then it didn't support the growth. And so China built whole cities and stuff, and now it's kind of coming apart a little bit at the cracking at the seams here. We'll see what happens. Their people aren't able to spend the money because they don't have the money because the growth was all a sham. Anyway, Rio, that's just kind of going sideways. May come down and bounce at the roadmap line. This is not the kind of price action I like to trade. Yen is plummeting. Yang is popping. Right up into targets. We may see a pull. We may see China rally a little bit. This is getting a little crazy. That is a leveraged 3x deal. Be careful on that one. Yen is a leveraged 3x bull, which when stuff goes down, I mean, leverage cuts you both ways, so be careful. Coin tagged that 120 zone that I've been... 120 was not my buy point. A few people got that confused a little bit. 120 was my pay attention point. We tagged that on Friday. I do kind of expect us to go tag that roadmap line. Now, we could find support here, and if we do, 160 is like my point where I'm going to be interested in going back higher because that's breaking above this consolidation. And we consolidated there slightly on the way up and the way back down. So right now, I'm going to have to get above here. If we go tag this, I may add a small position here that I reinforce here on the way up here. So, all right. Yeah, I miss my buttons. Like, I've been missing those. I've got more animations planned, but I need to hire an animator. I'm just not... JT's not the best drawer. Not the greatest at it. So, LI. Look at that. That's an echo. Right there. Yeah, Kimberly got me this thing. I've showed it off. Yeah, it's like... Let me see. Pull it over. See, isn't that fun? A lot of the buttons are green, so they kind of don't show up. But all those buttons, there's like 32 of them, I think. Got every... things I've got programmed. I still got room for more stuff. And you can make multiple screens or whatever. So anyway, that one could find support here. Wouldn't surprise me. LI. So watch for a bounce, but we could extend down to 22, possibly 16, 17. So these would be the next zones here for resistance. I don't know, man. Like, my kids aren't in school anymore, so... Kids in school. Yeah, see, I'm older than you think I am. All my kids are adults. So, anyway, I need animator. That's the trick. Like, you can find people that can draw, but I need an animator, like a digital drawer. That seems to be a special skill that not everybody has. So, I have animation software, but JT's kind of crap. So we'll see what happens. Anyway. There you go. There's LI. That was kind of the list. Now, bias for the day. God, I've been talking for a while, haven't I? Whole hour. I think we could go higher a little bit. I'm very concerned at the pop and drop situation. 49 and 20 may be where we get to. Could we go on higher? Yeah, it's possible. We rip on up here, finish this out, and go even higher, 6,000. But probably not without a pullback. So just remember the lower time frame stuff. This one had that head and shoulders kind of sloppy deal in here too. So right here, that one right there, same as ES. And we haven't broken down, haven't done any of this correction stuff I was looking for. JT hadn't got that right yet. But I saw this show up last week before we actually rallied. Watch out for that. Right there. Takes us right up to that 1618. Funny enough. 49.20. So significant resistance right there. I would be very careful if we get that high. Right there, we're getting to the extension, the 1618 of that last pullback. We might be in for some volatility. That's what I'm thinking. What is the difference between unleashed and mega cycle? There's nothing called mega cycle. You may be asking about the difference between unleashed and crypto power plays. Power plays is all of crypto. I did like almost a 2-hour update on that one, covering the cryptoverse yesterday, and I go through all of crypto, micros, mining, all the things. Unleashed is keeping your money out of the crypto space and just taking advantage of it with a monthly pattern. So keeping it simple, as we say. People that joined crypto power plays early had complaints. They didn't want wallets. They didn't want to try to figure out how, you gotta have multi exchanges to be able to trade all the trades. Crypto is difficult and it's risky, and you can get hacked and you can lose your money and you can do the wrong thing. And there's no protection against your money in crypto. So some of the complaints were, I want it simpler. It's so difficult. I have trouble following everything. So we developed a keep it stupidly simple program called Crypto Unleashed, where you don't have to get involved in any of the crypto stuff. You can just, get some nice gains on a monthly pattern on Bitcoin. That's the big difference between Crypto Unleashed and crypto power plays. So there you go. All right. So slightly biased up. Very, very, very cautious for a deeper pullback at this point, especially hitting that 1618. Have a great day, everybody. I'll see you again tomorrow. If you want to come hang out with me, link is in the description down below. If I said anything you like today, give me a thumbs up, give me a like, and I'll see you later.